This year's The Money Summit focuses on investment and sustainable retirement income. This discussion is key and critical against the background that, in our recent past, government debt restructuring agenda has affected investors, especially domestic bondholders. According to Mr. Paul Kofi Mante, Managing Director of EDC Investment Limited, in spite of high inflation, depreciation of the local currency, falling treasury bill rates, and coupled with haircut policy by government, the investment climate is still favorable, worth considering by investors.
When you look at the year 2022 carefully, you realize that it's a year that can be divided into two halves, where the first half of the year and the second half look like two different countries. When it comes to macroeconomic indicators, things like inflation, beginning of the year and then the end of the year, things like the depreciation of the currency, even treasury bill rate, where we started and where we ended the year. And then the conversation around domestic debt exchange came up. And we had a haircut and there were demonstrations all over. And because of that, a lot of people have put financial planning on the hold.
Dr. Richmond Atuahene, a banking consultant, indicated that a sound macroeconomic environment is needed to drive investment.
Inflation has been one of the biggest items in investment in Ghana. Even in the 2019 and 2018, inflation was hovering about 15%. Currently, we're talking about 22.4%. To me, it is quite unreasonable. It doesn't make the investment climate conducive at all, because it doesn't enable you to issue any bid or bond or even short-term document with a better return. Because if your interest rate inflation is high, the real return on your investment is negative. And no investor goes for negative return.
He called for governments to work hard to minimize inflation and stabilize the value of the cedi.
I'm urging the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to work hard to ensure that the inflation comes down, the cedi stabilize, and also there is a lower fiscal deficit. Should we get all these things together with the turn of the investment yield curve, then we can say that investment conditions are right. But at the moment, people are clamoring for investment. People go for the short-term end of the market, which is the treasury bills, because it has a short exit point.
Tuan Keith Tandon, Chief Operating Officer of Regulus Finance, the macroeconomic environment is improving and investor confidence is picking up quickly.
We are seeing very positive signs from the macros perspective. Inflation has been steadily coming down. Currency has been pretty stable. And even the cost of funds for the government has come down substantially, which is good from the debt sustainability perspective. Overall, there has been positive sentiments, which we can see, because Ghana carries some intrinsic strengths. Overall, if we take these short-term macroeconomic issues away, we believe for the long-term investors, Ghana throws a lot of opportunities.
At Makola in Accra, the heart of the informal economy, some traders agree that saving and investment in their businesses is key.
I will put my money into transport businesses because now I can see that it is really booming. Also, I will invest some in treasury bills. I will invest at the bank because investing in a business sometimes is very risky, especially in a situation where businesses doesn't go as planned. Unlike business investment, investing at the bank gives you a maximum security for unforeseen circumstances. It appears that most of them were not well abreast with alternative options. But Mr. Paul Mante shares perspective about investment options.
I've heard people who have said that I will not invest again because of what has happened. But life must continue. So what have we done as a responsible company? We've created a number of new products that are completely insulated from the domestic debt exchange. We have the EDC fixed income sub-account. We have the money market account, which is a sub-account. We have the balance fund. We've created a retirement retirement fund, a fund that focuses purely on the people who want to have decent retirement. So I want to encourage you, we need to bounce back because life must still continue. Take advantage of some of these new products that are insulated from the domestic debt exchange so that you can have a decent retirement and a decent old age.
It appears his message has already caught with a student at the University of Ghana.
I would like to invest in Treasury bill because so far Treasury bill is risk-free as compared to other portfolios or other investments.
According to a corporate driver, he would prefer to invest into farming and thereafter invest the proceeds.
I want to, or I would like to invest it in farming because I wouldn't want to put my money in bank without bringing me any income. It wouldn't make sense to me. But if I invest that in farming, right, it will bring me more income. So after that, then I know that I now have an outstanding business. I can now thinking of, putting my money there for them to keep it for me.
This position was equally echoed by a number of banking and finance students at the University of Ghana.
I'm going to venture into agribusiness. I believe that in as much as the times may get difficult, inflation may occur, what have you, I believe that no matter how hard the economy is, they are still going to have something to eat. So agribusiness is going to be an investment that is going to be profitable all year round, regardless of inflation, regardless of how hard the economy is. I mean, I'm still going to eat. So then I'll venture into poultry, farming, what have you. I'll just go produce, sell it to the market to men. So it's more or less like I'll be solving two issues at the same time. I'll be making money for myself, whilst at the same time providing individuals with organic food.
The big question is whether investment is risk-free. Mr. Francis Botredadzi, finance manager of the Business and Financial Times BNFT, answered by stating that the current investment environment is quite risky due to the previous haircut policy.
Considering where we're coming from as a country, it is really risky. I mean, the investment terrain is really risky, and everybody now is a bit skeptical when it comes to investment. But I still think that it makes sense to want to invest the money, at least to secure the value of the money, rather than keeping it at home doing nothing. What that means is that the money constantly will be losing value. But even if you invest it at a negative return, it reduces the rate at which your money is losing value. And I think it makes sense.
Kwabena Boamah, managing director for Stanbic Investment Management Services, indicated that regardless of the risks associated with investment, it is still a solid foundation to sustainable retirement income.
Investment is an important part of every single person's life because what is guaranteed if God gives you life is retirement. And when you retire, your expenses don't retire. So you need to plan to make sure that your expenses are taken care of. One sure good way of doing this is by investing. Investing presents several opportunities, irrespective of what happens and what has happened. Definitely, there are good reasons why you should invest.
Despite recent economic setbacks, the 2025 Money Summit shows that investment remains critical to building a sustainable income retirement. Experts agree while risk exists, opportunities are growing as confidence returns. Powered by the Business and Financial Times and Ecobank, this documentary highlights that with the right knowledge and strategy, investors are able to secure a brighter financial future.